Thank you very much for joining us today for this RESP webinar. This is Harpreet Puri from Canadian LIC. We're hoping you are doing good by end of this webinar. We are hoping that you will have enough information, or I would say right information about the education plan, kids education plan. So there are like a lot of misconceptions. There are a lot of misconceptions, and there are like wrong information outside. So our whole panel will try to give you the right information about the concept of RESP. So today's webinar agenda, we will be focusing on three things. First of all, we will be discussing, we'll share the numbers. What is the cost of education? We will be comparing the cost of insurance last 15 years to what is the difference, what is the increment in last 15 years we have in cost of education. And the second thing we'll be talking about, if the cost is increasing so much, then what are the options we have it. And then the third thing at the end, we will be comparing the different type of options we have it for our kids. If somebody is saying, okay, we have, rather than going for RESP, if we go with this option, investment option, this option, what are the consequences? What are the pros and cons? We'll be discussing that too. And then another thing we will be focusing on today's presentation, that what is the importance of personal financial advisor? How that personal financial advisor can help you in your long-term and short-term goals. So that's the agenda of today's meeting. And then before we go further, let's talk about us. Myself, Harpreet Puri. It's been 10 years I'm in this financial industry, working as an insurance and investment advisor. And then Canadian LIC, we are here. We have a very good team, and we deal with all kind of insurance companies. All the major insurance providers we are representative, it's a licensed representative of all the companies. And then the services we provide here is life insurance, critical illness, disability insurance, super visa travel insurances, education plans for kids. Those we do provide that service as well. And then if somebody wants to open TFSA, RSP accounts, we can help you with that too. If somebody wants to set up a group benefit for their businesses, we can help you with that too. And today with this webinar, I have all my colleagues sitting here, Mr. Pushpinder Puri. And Mr. Harjinder Sandhu.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Mr. Sandeep Barat.
Hello, everyone.
So we all are licensed LLQP insurance licensed, investment licensed people here. So we'll be all the team, everyone in the team will be helping you with answering your questions. So as I mentioned in the starting, that cost of insurance is going very high.
Yeah.
Right.
So yes, Harpreet. So thanks for the introduction. So before we go ahead, Harpreet, let's talk about a little bit, because this whole thing, it starts with what is going to be the cost of education in next, maybe when the kids are young, but the kids are going to the college, university next 15 to 20 years. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the numbers, that how the cost of education has changed in Canada over the last 15 years.
Yes, definitely, Harjinder. So this is, in the starting, we mentioned that cost of insurance is going up, right? Mm-hmm. If everybody can see that slide, we actually shared the official posted numbers on Statistics Canada for 2020. We can see the increment is from anywhere from 41% to 232%. Right. If the kid is doing any basic education is 41% up. Yes. So if somebody is doing even the social and behavior science, a lot of kids I have seen that they're very inclined towards the social behavior. Yes. Kind of courses. The cost is 39% up. And if we are talking about somebody wants to do law or any mathematics and engineering or something like that, mm-hmm. It's close to 80% up. Correct. And then if any kid wants to go in the medical field, medicine, the cost is if nursing is 33%, 50% is a medicine, pharmacy is 64% up. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and then if we are looking at the veterinary medicine, veterinary doctors, if somebody is doing that, it's 232% up. If anybody wants to go, if any kid wants to go into the business section, simple plain MBA is 100%, 102% up.
So it's almost doubled up since the last
15 years, right? So these numbers, when we see that, I know it scares us, right? Yeah. The cost of insurance, it scares us that whatever the cost was like 10, 15 years ago, correct, now it's double of that.
Correct.
And then if our kids are today, they're zero, if they're like zero, we're talking about newborn, 1 year, 2 year, 4 years, we're talking like next 15, 20 years. That's what we're talking. And then if we see the past numbers, we're expecting that same, if we go with the same growth, next 20 years, it's 15 to 20 years. Right. We're hoping that's going to be again double.
That's right. And just adding on to that, Harpreet, so when you mentioned that there is a increase from somewhere between 40 to 100%, that's the average increase, right?
Yes.
And just to add on that, if you see last 20 years data officially posted by Statistics Canada, last 20 years, the average cost of 1 year of university education has gone 3 times.
Yes.
So if you see, go back 20 years back, and in 2000, the average 1 year of tuition fees was somewhere between $2,200. Sure. And today, when year 2020, when I go and see the Statistics Canada website, then I see the average annual tuition fees is $6,800. So this is close to the $7,000. So close to 3 times increase since last 20 years.
That's true.
Now, this is where the role of planning comes in, correct? Then when the kids who are, as you mentioned, are 1 year, 2 year, 3 year old, they will be going to the college university 15, 20 years down the line. So that means if the current trend continues, the college university 4-year degree, which on an average today in Canada costs you about $27,000. And if the same trend continues in 20 years down the line, the same university degree will be somewhere in the ballpark of $80,000. So therefore, this is an idea to give to all the parents who will be listening to us that we need to plan as per 20 years down the line. So definitely there is a need to plan. We need to give a strong foundation to a child. There is a need to plan. So Harpreet, a question to you, that when we know that there is a need to plan, they need to plan 20 years down the line. What are the options available for the parents to plan for their kids' college university education?
Very good question, Harjinder. Because we start with that. The kids, most of the parents says, okay, Harpreet, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. But I want to, let's discuss one by one every option. The first choice always parents has is like student loan.
Yes.
Right? Student loans, first of all, it's not very easy to get the student loan.
Yeah.
Because there is an eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria is that there should be, the income has to be very low. Yes. Right? And then income has to be, and parents' income, they see the parents' income as well. So they see the parents' income, they see the kids' income, and then there's what kind of a course you are doing, and all these things. So sometimes it's very hard to qualify for on an average family. It's very hard for the kid to qualify for the student loans. And on top of that, you're paying the interest on that loan.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So whatever, if for a certain time period, you are not paying that loan off, but after that you're paying that loan off. Yes. Right? And then third thing is, when your child is coming out of the university or college, they have a loan on their head. They need to worry about that they have to pay 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, whatever the loan is, 20,000, they have to pay it back no matter what, right? So that's the worst option. And I don't think this is a very good option. Yeah. And some parents says, oh, I have paid off house, I have equity in my house. The second option most of the parents pick is getting the equity out of the house. And I don't think so that's a very good option as well, because there's the same thing, eligibility criteria has to be there.
Yes. Whether
there is enough equity in the house, right? Yes. If you're taking out, whether you're eligible to take out that equity or not. Correct. Right? And then after that, you're paying interest on that equity, that whatever the loan, your equity as a loan you're taking it out, you're paying equity interest on that. And third thing I always says, you know what, it takes plenty of years to pay off that mortgage, right?
Correct.
We are starting, everybody started, and then we have like started like 500,000, 600,000 mortgage. It takes 10 to 15 years to lower that down. And then after when 15 years down, and then when our kids are going back to the university, we're taking again the loan, right? Yes. And then at the age of 50, 60, parents are paying off again. They're starting from the...
So it impacts the retirement planning.
Yes. Because they're starting all over again. Now all of a sudden I have again 500,000 mortgage on me, yes. Right? Yes. So that's not a very good option. And then third option we have is like you're touching your personal savings, which include TFSA account, RESP accounts. That will be actually hurting your retirements.
Yes.
Right? If we are, on the other hand, the third option I always is that everybody is getting child benefit, right? Yes. Some portion of child benefit, if we use that to put in an RESP, we can have all these problems can be solved very easily.
So you mentioned, Harpreet, about RESP, right? So let's get into that what RESP is and what are the grants available in the RESP. So let's get to that. Now we know by this time, our listeners might be already knowing that yes, they can complement the other options. So we are not saying taking an equity out of the house or taking a loan for the kid is a bad option, but yes. We can complement with. But if we plan from the beginning, then we can avoid all those options, and we can actually earn interest on the money that we are contributing to the RESP. Yes. And also it's a disciplined saving you can use the child benefit to pay off the RESP. So let's talk about that in detail, help our listeners to understand what RESP is.
Definitely. So RESP is a registered, as the name says, it's a registered education saving plan. Mm-hmm. Most of the people says, okay, saving plan, we can open a saving plan, and then where we can put money on a side on regular basis, on monthly basis, and then we can accumulate some fund. Definitely you can do that, but that is one of the options you have it. But what is the purpose of registering this plan to with the CRA? Because when you're opening a registered education saving plan, you're actually registering this plan with the CRA.
Yes.
CRA, Canada Revenue Agencies, right? Yes. So when you're registering this plan with the CRA, they're giving you grants.
Correct.
Grants, right? So this is it's a very good, I always say this is a very good tool for the parents. Government encourage parents. Why they're giving I always say why government is giving the grants. Why? Because per child the government is giving certain amount, right? Yes. And then the government is so much interested to give that money out, because they want to encourage the parents that you take some step will help you to grow your money. Mm-hmm. So that's a very good strategy they are using it, so that by the time the kids are out in the university, they don't need to take the loans. That if they're taking the university loans, that's again a burden to the government, right? Okay. So they're taking the loans, whether they're taking it personally, whatever. So that's why from the beginning the government says, please start saving for your kids' education, and who will help you to grow your money. Yeah. So registered education saving plan, where if you put the money, let's say the parent put $100, the government puts some grants, which is let's say 20%. I'll be going through the details.
I'll get to that. I'm actually going to ask you the question.
Yes.
So just to sum up that, you said this RESP is an account which is registered with the Canadian Revenue Agency, CRA, right? CRA. And then there are grants given by the federal government to the CRA account. Yes. Can you elaborate what are the grants available?
Yes. So there are 3 types of grants available. Mm-hmm. CESG, which is Canada Education Saving Grant, mm-hmm. which is up to $7,200. And let me clear one thing here. Everybody thinks that if they open the RESP account, they will be eligible to get the $7,200. So there is a payout. I would say there is a criteria to get that whole $7,200. Mm-hmm. So if a parent is putting $100 in the RESP account, the government gets 20%, which is $20, right? Okay. And then if the parents puts $200 in the saving account, the government gets 20%, which is $40.
Okay. So right? Question here that is it the grant coming every month, or is it
yes.
comes at the end of
every
the year?
month? Every month. Okay. So it depends. No, it's mostly every month. Yes. So as soon as you are putting $200, government is putting $40. There's another thing, right? I want to add it here. So wherever you're opening a RESP, sometimes the people doesn't actually apply for that. There's some institution, they don't apply for the grants.
Yes.
So it's very, when you're opening any RESP account, please make sure that you're filling up the grant form as well. So that grant form is going to the CRA. They actually share the data, the family income, the family income and everything. So according to that, your family income, they give you the grants. So I'll go through that in a while. So CESG is $7,200 regardless of any person's income, any family income, everybody gets it.
So question here, Harpreet. So let's say if there are 3 kids in the family, everybody receives $7,200?
Yes, per child, it's $7,200. So regardless of your income, if you're making $500,000, if you're making only $5,000 a year, you will get $7,200 on your contributions. It's very important to see that on your contribution. If you're putting $25, then you're only getting the 20% of $25. If you're putting $200, you're getting 20% of $200. And then there is additional CESG, which is if your family net income is less than 48,000, then you're getting $100 per year extra. And then there's a CLB, which is Canada Learning Bond. Means if your family income is $47,630, less than that, then you're eligible. When you open the RESP account, the first year you will get $500, right? And then every coming year, whenever your family income is up, every year there is a family LICO change, income criteria change, and then following years, whenever you are eligible for that CLB, additional $100 is getting into your account.
Got it.
And the government does it by itself. First time with the application, you apply for the grants, and every year they take the data from CRA, and then you're getting the automatically you're getting the grants.
That was about to be my next question, that because there is so much income numbers here. So do our listeners have to, like, if I'm a parent and opening RESP, do I have to tell you that this is my income, or does it automatically get credited?
It is automatically credited from the CRA. Because when we are doing the application, we share our SIN numbers. Without SIN numbers, you cannot open the RESP account. So parents, SIN number, fathers, mothers, and the kid SIN number is very important to open a RESP account. Without kid's SIN number, you cannot open a RESP account. So I always recommend as soon as the kid born, when you're applying for birth certificate, when you're applying for child benefits, please apply for the SIN for SIN as well. I have seen that a lot of parents says, "Oh, they are not going to work, so why we need the SIN number for them?" But that's you need the SIN number for the education saving plan. So get the SIN number, please, as soon as the baby born.
So these are the grants by the federal government, Harpreet. So are there any grants available by the province as well?
Yes, there are. So some provinces, they give you additional grants. So it depends on province to province. If you're in BC, there's another 10% extra you're getting it. If you're in Montreal, Quebec, there's another one. So it depends which province you're staying. According to that, you get that grants additional. So as it's like automatically, because your RESP account is registered, so you don't need to apply for anything extra. So it's
all
one form and you're good to go.
Okay, sounds good.
So Harjinder, just like Harpreet mentioned about the cost of education, she also mentioned about some options like student loan, and also she mentioned about RESP. So the question is here, she also mentioned about the government grants, but my question is, how does it work? How RESP work? How people can start saving money in RESP? What is the contribution limit? So can you talk about this one?
Correct. Yes, Sandeep, sure. So as Harpreet mentioned about that, it's the grants coming from the government in the RESP registered account. But we need to understand that it starts with you. So you have to open the account, you have to start your contributions. And on the basis of your contributions, you receive the grants from the federal government as well as the provincial government, whichever province you are. So when it comes to so there are 3 major components to any RESP account. The first component is your contributions, the money that you put in the plan. And the maximum that a parent can put per child in the family is $50,000. So you cannot put over $50,000. There are tax implications for that. And you can do monthly or annual contributions based on your comfort level and your the way you are comfortable doing that. And coming to the second portion, which is grants, as Harpreet summarized that. So overall combined basic grant with the CLB, you can achieve more than somewhere between $90 to $100 in the form of the grants from the Canadian government. And the third portion is, so whatever your contributions are, plus whatever grants you are receiving. So on top of that, whatever your investment portfolio is in the RESP account, you earn the interest on top of that. So I think this is a wonderful tool.
Yes.
Because first you put the money, you make 20% right upfront. On top of that, based on the investment portfolio, you make additional interest. So this is all like your contributions, grants, and earnings. And this is the reason why we kept the name of this session as ABC.
Yes.
Because A is your contributions, B is the grants, and C is the earnings that you are making on this. So when you combine all these three, they become the RESP account. That's our RESP account pool.
But I heard sometime on top of this contribution, top of your contribution on grant, on earning, people get some bonuses. So this bonus is for everyone?
That's a good question, Sandeep. So bonus is a specific payout of one single company. There is specific company which gives additional bonus on top of your contributions. So that is a plan specific. So some companies, they give you 15% of additional bonus up to $7,500. And that particular bonus is company specific, number one. Number two, it is specific to the age of the child.
Yes.
So it's not that every company or every RESP account pays out that.
Yes.
In general, the RESP account has only 3 components. So bonus is additional.
So I would recommend if if your kids are less than 4-year-old and they are looking for extra bonus, talk to your professional advisor, financial advisor, so they can guide you better on that, which product is meeting your needs.
Correct. So Harpreet, this is all good. So as of now in this session, we talked about the cost of education has changed over the last 15 years. It's expected to grow nearly 3 times in next 20 years. And the RESP is a good option for parents to consider to save for their kids' education. There are grants available, interest you can earn, and in some plans you can earn the bonus as well.
Yes.
But let's talk, this is how you build the plan over the 18 years.
Yes.
So the kid is born today, 18 years of age. This is what the parents are doing, putting every month, making, generating interest, getting the grants. That's what they do in 18 years.
Yes.
But I think the most important part comes how to exit, how to withdraw the money and use the money.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, sure. Harjinder, it's very surprising. It's funny as well. I have seen in my last career, in last 10 years career, that most of the parents, they don't know where they have opened the accounts. It's very sad as well. They don't know where they have opened the account. They just know that they have RESP.
Yes.
And exit plan, forget about exit plan. They sometimes don't know whether they're getting the grants or not.
Yes.
So here, I just want to pressurize on that too, that if you are opening any RESP account, please stay in touch with your professional advisor, financial advisors, so that whenever there's a need change, whenever there's anything which you need to discuss, which you need to, know that what is, if your investments are going up, if investments are going down, or whatever there is, you should know that, right? And then let's talk about the withdrawals.
Yes.
This current year, I have actually take out 6 kids money from the RESP accounts. I help the families, right?
Yes.
So it is very easy. It depends with which company you are, but it is very easy. So they need 3 documents to withdraw the money. First document they needed is the acceptance letter from the college. The second is subscriber or joint subscribers fill up the form, consent letter that they want to withdraw the money, and then third is the bank details they need to, where they will be transferring the money. So it's very simple, right? So now let's talk about how the withdrawals you can take out how the withdrawal will be, right? So let's say, as we mentioned, there is 3 parts: contributions, grants, and interest.
Correct.
Right? So contribution is a parent's money.
Yes.
They have put it in the account, and then they earn the grants and then interest on top of that. So contributions are which is principal. Yes. Correct. So that money belongs to parents. If they don't want to they want to take out the whole money in one shot, they can take out whole money in one shot.
Yes.
And then grants and earnings, that's how they work. Most of the time this goes to the child.
Yes.
And then the child on the contributions, the parents just don't need to pay any taxes because it's after tax money. On grants and earnings, it is going to the beneficiary name or the kid name. They have tuition credits, they have no incomes, so it's not very big complication, tax implication to them. So basically all the money you can take it out as a kind of tax.
So basically, you're saying, Harpreet, that the contribution portion, the parents can take out lump sum.
Yes.
They don't pay any tax on
It
that.
depends on company to company as well.
Okay.
Let me tell you, there are a few companies, scholarship companies, they have different criteria. How they pay is they actually split in 4 years, and then they certain part of principal every year they give it to you, certain parts of grant they every year they give it to you. But most of the companies now they're actually more inclined towards the individual plans.
Yes.
So where the eligibility is only the 13 weeks of course. If your child is enrolled, you can have your all the principal and then your grants and everything. You can take it out.
So to take out the money, has to be a full-time course, or it could be a part-time?
No,
course?
it can be a part-time as well.
Okay.
But there is a limit for that. For part-time, you have a $2,500 you can maximum take out from grants and earnings first year, and then from if you're going full-time, you can take $5,000.
So,
but your money is there, it's safe, and then it's actually earning interest till the time it's there.
So is there any specific college, university, or what are the options?
So any recognized institution, which is whether you're doing it in-house means within Canada, your child is going Canada, USA, Australia, anywhere, but the institution has to be recognized. But you cannot be going any college, but if the institution is recognized, the kid can go to that college and university and can have a good education there.
So let's say if the kid does not go to the college, university, just the kid is 18-year-old, but they decide to defer their plan of studying for 1 or 2 years. Do the parents have to withdraw the money right away after 18 years, or can they keep the money in the account and they wait till the time the child goes to the college?
Yes, you know what? That's a very another funny story. Sometimes the kids, what they do 1 semester, 2 semester, and they say, you know what? I want to take a semester off. I want to take 2 semesters off. Or sometimes they say, okay, you know what? I want to start after a year or something like. I want to take a year off or something like that. So the good thing is the parents have the flexibility that they can actually keep the money over there till the child goes age 35. You can actually hold the money in the RESP account, and then whatever the funds are there, whatever the money, the accumulations, your principal and everything, they actually get the interest on top of everything.
Okay. And now let's talk about quickly about if the child does not go to the college, university, they decide to altogether not go. So then what happens?
So so let's say the worst scenario we're talking, the kid doesn't want to go for a single day to any college or any university, right? First choice you have you can use that money for another kid.
Yes.
That is
so even if the other child was not added to the plan in the beginning,
you can.
That
the parents
child can be added later on.
Yes.
Okay.
So the parents can use that money for another kid, second kid, third kid, right? And second thing is, let's say the parent, any kid, nobody's going to only single kid, whatever the scenario is. So then the second choice is that if the parents has the room, whatever the contribution they have made plus interest on whatever on their contribution, they can roll over to their RRSP.
Yes.
Without any tax complications. On the other hand, let's say they don't have a room in RRSP, what they can do, principal is tax-free, they can take out in one shot. The interest portion, whatever the interest they earned on their contribution, they have to pay the taxes on that.
Correct.
And the grant portion, because the kid didn't go to school, universities for a single day. So the grant portion goes back to the government, and the earnings on the grant is also going back to the government.
Okay.
Yes. It's very simple.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
So when you have to return the grants to the government, do you have to pay any penalties?
No, there is no penalties. No.
Okay.
So simple, whatever the grants the government has paid, whatever the interest is on that, simply you're just giving that.
So basically, if I see this whole scenario, you're not losing anything.
You're not losing anything. That's why it was, the today's purpose of this webinar is that we should give the right information to the parents, right? So that's why we took this initiative that it's you're not losing anywhere any single penny.
Yes.
So that it's very important. Whatever the we will talk in the further slides that how the government helps you to open the account. The government actually pays you to put it in a RESP and make another money, gives another money to give you the grow that money as well.
So now let's talk about scenarios as well. Some of the scenarios, right? So let's say if a child is born this year and the parents decide to start the RESP, let's say in November this month, and they decide that we want to get the maximum grant from the government, what do they expect at the end of maturity?
So if you can see the slide, we are sharing a case study here. So let's say the kid just born, and then we're starting the RESP with the $208, and the family net income is between 47,000 to 95,000. We're taking the 5% returns here, which is very doable. Let me tell you, there are 3 sections in this RESP. Contributions are fixed. Whatever you can, the parent cannot put more than 50,000. That is fixed.
Yes.
It's fixed, right? The grants, if you're eligible to get 7,200 grants, you are eligible to $7,200 grant. That is also fixed. The only variable factor is interest, which you are earning, right? So 5% is very doable. And most of the companies, they give you 5% return over the period of 10 to 15 years or 18 years, right? So that's what the example we're taking. So if we go with this, the parents has actually contributed $42,000. And the grants they earned on that $42,000 is $7,200. And with 5%, the interest generated is $29,000. So if we look at the scenario, and if the diploma, there's bonus added, that's an additional $6,400. We didn't add it in $85,000 that diploma bonus, right? So if you see, the parents actually put 42,000. By the time the kid is going to the university, they have $85,000 sitting there, which is almost the double of their whatever they have contributed, right? So money actually becomes double. And it's just a disciplinary, I would say, a monthly contribution parents are doing, and then they're generating this a fund for their kids' higher education.
Correct.
So it's very simple. If you put $42,000, if the returns you are getting is 5%, by the time your child is going to the university, it's close to $85,000.
So, Harpreet, my question is here. As we show the case study on 5%, right? So where this 5% came from, and is it fixed or we can get more?
As I explained before as well, this is the one factor which is variable. Right? Principal is fixed, grant is fixed. This is the one factor which is variable. So if you can see the slide, we have shared the numbers. Same scenario, $208 putting every month, same income, everything is same. 5%, the fund value is $85,000. But if that number goes to 7%, it's $96,000. And if the returns on your earnings is 9%, it is $121,000.
Right.
So that's why I always say, if you have your personal financial advisor, it's very doable. From going 5 to 9%, it is very doable.
Yeah. So Harpreet, the question here. So when it comes to the investment portfolio, right? So do the customer has the parent has a choice of how they design the portfolio, or the advisor has the right to do that?
So it depends.
Or is it it's a participating kind of decision?
Yeah, it's a participating kind of decision, because you know what, the returns, this is any account, TFSA account, RRSP account.
Correct.
So the returns are always participating thing.
Correct.
What is client's portfolio? What is their risk tolerance? How they're managing the, so there are a lot of factors. What is their family income? What is their assets? How they're managing, how their risk tolerance is.
Correct.
So everything after, everything, then you actually choose the portfolio for the client. And then you invest into that portfolio and then get the returns.
Right.
So I have a recommendation to all the parents. RESP is not the thing that you're opening an account and leave it and then that's it, you're done.
Yeah.
So
you have to review it on a at least I would say annual basis.
Yes.
To see where we are going with this, how much are the returns, do we need to change the portfolio or not? Because when the kid is young, the kid is less than 5-year-old, 10-year-old, they can go with little bit of aggressive accounts.
Yes.
And then the moment the kid is to the age of 13, 14, or 15, you need to make sure that you're saving the principal and making sure that when a kid is about to go to the college, university next 2-3 years, everything is protected for them.
I want to share an example here. So it's very important to watch your investments. So I actually met a client last year. Their kid was going to this university this year, right?
Yeah.
Last year they had like close to $97,000 in their RESP account, and I was very happy to see the returns and everything. I said, you are doing very good. Just put this money in a lockdown or put it in GIC, or just change the strategy, because that was actually in a very aggressive funds, right? Because your kid is going next year to the university, so you need to change the investment portfolio, because you are not in a situation where you have a time to take the risk and stuff.
Correct.
So I advised the client, and then he went back to that person, and then no, market is not going anywhere, and then this and that. By the time the kid is going to university this year, the $96,000 came down to $78,000.
Yes.
And the kid has to go to the university this year. There's no choice. The parents has to withdraw the money, right?
Yes.
So I have a recommendation. That's why it's very important that you're dealing with a professional and you're talking to them time to time.
Got it.
And you're reviewing your RESPs time to time as well.
No, that's right. That's a good point. So let's talk about the next let's say if we are working on this and the parents, sometimes due to the personal reasons, or maybe sometimes due to the ignorance, we decide to defer the plan. That by the time can you talk a little bit about how if we defer this plan, how this is going to impact the overall amount at the maturity?
Yes, we have actually numbers on the screen as well. If we open a same scenario, we're taking the same example, $208 monthly contribution with the 5%. If we are taking the newborn is, if we see the fund accumulation, it's $85,000. But if we delayed the same for the kid, if we delayed the decision for 5 years, you see the number is 31,000 down.
Correct.
Now by the time he will be going to the university, he will only have $54,000 in his saving account. And then if you delay by 10 years, look at the investment, look at the fall is 68%, means almost $60,000 you're losing at that.
Yes.
So because it's a time related thing, right?
Correct.
The more time you give it to the investment to grow, the more returns you will get it, the more it's going to grow, right? So if you see the numbers, I recommend, that's why as soon as the kid born, open RESP account.
Yes.
Right?
Right. So that is the right advice. So Harpreet, let's talk about a little bit about the other things that you mentioned in the beginning that in Canada you receive the child benefit, right? Yes. So let's just quickly summarize that. What kind of child benefits are available to the parents here?
Yeah. So according to your family income, how many people you are in the family, what is the age of children, number of children in the family, your marital status.
Yes.
According to that, every family gets a child benefit per month, right? So if we look at that, if the family income, I have actually shared few examples here, that if your family income is $31,000, the per child you will be getting close to $563 approximately, right? These numbers we have run it without just the normal numbers, because there are a lot of factors which actually when they calculate your child benefit, they actually consider that. So you can go to the CRA website, and over there you can use the child benefit calculator, and you can run your numbers, and then you can see how much child tax you're eligible to. And if the $75,000 your family income is, then you are eligible to get $331. And if your family income is $100,000, you're getting close to $264. Let's see that. Let's take the last example. That your family income is $100,000. And you're getting only $264 per child, right?
Yes.
So if we go with the 200, if we are getting $264 from the government, and out of those 264, we are putting $208 on the side for RESP, it will make big difference.
Yes.
Because these 264 in your daily life, it's not going to make much difference.
Correct.
Right? It's only 264. But these $208 out of those 264, putting on a side and making, because 20% they're making, right away they're making 20%.
Yes.
And forget about the interest. Let's say there's a 0% interest. Nobody can beat that 20%.
Yes. No, when you say this, I remember one quote that the money invested is money earned.
Yes.
Actually, that is what everybody says. True. That the money that you invest is the money that you earn. Correct. So that's good. So Harpreet, next question is basically there might be many parents who have questions about that projections of $80 to $90,000 may be good for some education streams.
Yes.
But there might be parents who might be thinking to send their kids to the medicine, law, or other courses where $80,000 is probably the annual cost.
Yes.
More than that, correct? So then what are the other strategies that parents can use along with RESP to complement and save more for their kids? So let's talk about that.
Yes, please. So I would not say that anything can replace RESP.
Yes.
RESP has to be there. You should, because you're making free money out of that.
Correct.
On top of RESP, what the other option is, one of the option is you can open a TFSA account. Why TFSA account? Because the growth in that account is tax-free.
Yes.
Right. So when the kids, you will be using that money, there is whatever the money you have made on that money, you will be not paying any taxes. Right. So that's a one benefit. That's why I'm considering this one of the good option to having with RESP. So same thing, RESP, if we put the money in RESP, $208, 50,000, it actually made $85,000, right?
Yes.
And the parents thinks, no, 85,000 is not enough for us. What they can do, they can, same amount I have put, took the example, that if they put $208 in TFSA account, and we are going very conservative with 5% return, that will make $72,000 fund, right? So 72,000 here, 85 over there. So with the RESP and TFSA account, you made going with the very conservative approach, you actually accumulated $160,000.
Yes.
And 160,000 is not a small amount.
Correct.
It's just like, you know what, every investment, whatever we're doing, it needs a discipline.
Yes.
And that's why I always prefer RESP, because we know that every parent has, I have done a lot of RESPs, right? And then why I don't give the parents choice to go there is an option that you go yearly or whenever you want to put it. I don't give them I always give them the disciplined option.
Correct.
Reason being then, because I'm a parent too, right? So I know that when we have a discipline that we have to pay this much, this has to be going through. So that's the only way most of the parents can actually save the money.
Yes.
Right.
So basically,
TFSA can be a very good option on top of RESP to save extra money. Correct. For your kids' education.
If you let's say if the parents are planning in an open way for their kids, right? And they can open a TFSA account along with RESP and put probably the same amount or more amount depending upon the TFSA room that they have, and they can accumulate more money in all together.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. The other question that I have is basically there's a kind of information out there that RESP is not a good option, that you should buy a permanent life insurance for your kid because they are young, they have the low cost of insurance. What is your take on that?
It's one of the solution, but is it the best solution? That's how I take it. Depends on person to person, family to family, but I always say it's not the very good option. Replacing the RESP with whole life. If we run the numbers, yes, the one benefit is there that your life insurance is there. It's paid up. I'm taking the participating 20-year paid up plan, right? So we're taking that. RESP is there, which actually you're paying $208. It accumulated $85,000 with the grants and everything, right? On the other hand, if we're putting participating policy $208 in that, the only thing is that, yes, the policy got paid off. If we are looking at the values, the cash values, it's a dividend policy. It's the cash value at the age of 18 is only $33,000.
Correct.
Right? And compare the 85,000 with 33,000, it's very, very low as compared to $85,000, right? The other option, the other thing is this $33,000 is taxable.
Yes.
Right? It's a cash surrender value. You have to cancel the policy to get the money back,
Correct.
or you have to take the loan against that. You have to pay the cost for that, right? On the other hand, RESP is something which you have created it.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean I'm trying to say that you shouldn't be having a policy for kids. My recommendation as a professional advisor with my past experience is you should have a full contribution in the RESP. And then after, if you have a room, then you should be definitely going for the participating policy for the kids. Reason being that your policy is paid off. Yes, it's not a very good tool when they're age 18, but if they're looking at the numbers at when they're 40, 45, 60, 65, it's amazing.
Yes.
So you should be topping up their insurance with the RESP.
Correct. Yes. So because I think every financial product has a specific objective. There's a purpose to it, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to the education savings, you need liquidity. You need a liquid money which you can withdraw.
Yes.
So a life insurance permanent policy could be a good option to lock their rates when they are young.
Yes.
But and it could be a good strategy in the long run, but might not be good in terms of the liquidity to access the cash.
That's very true.
So that's a rigidity there. So I think, as Harpreet you mentioned, it is basically for the parents who have topped up their RESP, and on top of that, they want to buy a permanent life insurance for their kid, they can go for it. That
would be the very good idea, actually.
Correct.
I always recommend my parents. A lot of families have it. I have it, who have RESP. They have full contribution in the RESP, and they have extra budget after that. So we'll take the example, $500. Let's say somebody is getting $500 for a kid. So they cannot put $500 all the money in the RESP account.
Correct.
So what they can do, they can distribute it. So 208, whatever the maximum they want, whatever the room is in the RESP, they can put it there, and whatever the left is, they can buy the insurance with that.
Correct.
So that.
And I think the combination of three can also work. You can have RESP, TFSA, and whole life, right? So if, let's say, a parent is getting $537, they are getting the maximum child benefit. They put $210 in RESP, put maybe 200 in TFSA,
yes.
Make it 160 by the end of age 18, and put the additional 100 to whole life policy. All the three strategies can be worked together depending upon the personal situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is all sound good. We went through RESP, how does it work? What are the government grants? What are the bonuses? But my question to Harpreet, so where people can go and why they need personal financial advisors?
Where they can open the RESP?
Yes, where they can open that.
Yes, to open a RESP account, there are a lot of options. You can go to any financial institution, you can open the RESP there. There are a lot of companies who are specializing, they have a RESP product, and there are insurance companies who are giving the RESPs as well. So it depends on you, which option you want to go with. As I mentioned before, two things are fixed: principal and grant. No matter wherever you're going, that is there. Third factor is the factor which is interest. So you have to see where you can get the good returns on your money. That's the one of the factor. When you're choosing a financial institution, where you're going, that should be the one major factor that you're going there. That's why you're going there, because you will be getting good returns.
Correct.
And the second thing I want is like second thing I wanted to keep, if you're getting the full-time advisor is there, right? So if you're going with a full-time advisor, they can actually, as the situation change, you will get personal one-to-one actually consultation with them. They will be helping you to take out the money. And then there is another thing: if there is a situation change, if your goals has been changed in last 5 years, 10 years, or whatever it is, so they can help you with that too. So I always go with that you should, if we have a problem, if it's a general problem, we go to the general practitioner, right? We go to the family doctor. But if we have a specific problem, financial problem is a specific problem, it's related to your finances, then we should be going to the financial advisor, the specialist who actually can help us with the long run.
Correct. And I want to emphasize on one point, Harpreet. I think it's very important to be in touch with whosoever advisor a person is working with, because at the time of the withdrawal, that's when you need it the most.
That's very true.
Yes.
So I always recommend whosoever is your your financial advisor is, please stay in touch with them at least once in a year. Go and meet them, review your things. That doesn't mean if you're going to them, that doesn't mean that you're buying anything from them, or you're, there will be another thing you are adding in your portfolio. Do the proper need analysis, sit down, see your long-term and short-term goals, and then the financial advisor can help you with that how you can achieve those goals. So sometimes we have the short-term goals which can be easily changed, and then sometimes we have a long-term goals which takes longer and big planning to actually achieve those goals. So it's better to have a personal financial advisor, like personal family doctor or specialist doctor for you, so he knows what's the problem with you. He knows the history, he knows then they can suggest the solution accordingly.
So that is good. So just to sum up everything, right? So we talked about what RESP is. We talked about how the RESP works, the three portions of the RESP. We talked about how much you put and how much you expect. We also talked about the strategies that you can complement with RESP to build a good financial future for your child. So I think we can go over the panel to ask, let's see if our parents have any questions.
Yes, please.
I have a few questions here. And there's a question.
If anybody wants to ask us any question, we can unmute them. Yeah. They can raise the hand, and then they can ask us questions, please.
So we have a question: how the balance of contribution grants will be withdrawn by parent student if studies are permanently discontinued after attending only 2 years of 4 years program. So that's a question we have. How do you take out the rest of the money if the program is permanently discontinued?
No, I got it. So I would like to answer this question. So this is, as I told you, there are few companies, there are few products which are where, especially the scholarship plans. Scholarship plans have a specific payout. That kid has to go for this much time. This is the limit that you can take out for every year and stuff like that. I think Mr. Muhammad has actually asked us the question. So, but unfortunately, what happens if you are in that contract, that scholarship plan, you don't have much choice. But the principal is yours, and then interest on that income is yours. You can talk to the company and you can ask them. I think they will return whatever the principal is. They will return it to you. Or if you need any help, you can contact us later as well. Yeah.
I have another question from Mr. Ajay Parveen. He was asking about, can you elaborate the factor of which interest on returns depends?
I think Mr. Arjun will want to.
So I can answer that question. So basically, your interest is dependent on the portfolio that you choose.
Yeah.
So basically, you have an option to invest the money in the segregated funds and the mutual funds. And depending upon the age of the child, we can design the portfolio. So let's say if the child is less than 5 years old, so probably we can go with aggressive funds in the beginning.
Yeah,
and as the child is nearing the age of 10 and 12 and entering into 15, we need to make sure that the principal is protected. So depending upon we sit down with an advisor and we can help you design the portfolio. It depends. The short answer is that it depends upon the selection of the funds.
Yes.
So that is the short answer. But the long answer is that we can sit down and we can design the portfolio based on the risk tolerance and the age of the child.
Yeah. So I want to add something. Whenever we are doing something that when we are choosing any client's portfolio, there is an investor profile. That's a document. Correct. We have to fill it out legally, and then with the compliance, we fill out that document, which is investor's profile. Correct. There are a few 10-15 specific questions we ask from the client, and then according to that 10-15 questions, we choose the portfolio. Right. Whether he's aggressive, he's moderate, he's low risk tolerance client, and then that's how we choose the investments.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much sums it up, and I have answered a couple of questions on the chat itself.
On the chat itself, okay.
Yeah.
So if anybody has questions, they can unmute themselves and ask us. They can raise the hand. We can unmute them and answer their question.
Yeah. So okay, we got 3 questions. Assuming we start the policy after kid is 10 plus year, is it possible to contribute more per month, more than $2,208? and reach maximum by the time the child turns 18. In this scenario, will the grants be the same?
You wanna, I wanna,
Yeah, please
I
go
can
ahead.
answer. Oh yeah, it's a very good question. So yes, sometimes it happens. Like let's say somebody just came to Canada, right? So the kid is already 7, 8 year old or 10 years old, right?
Correct.
So what happens? Then we have a limited time. But yes, Mr. Parveen asked that yes, you can put more than $208.
Yeah.
And then maximum per year you can get the grant for $5,000.
Correct.
So what you can do, you can put the $5,000 and you can get maximum grant on that.
Correct.
And then whatever the period's 7, 8 years you have it, you can grow your money over there and get the maximum grants out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I think you get the grant till the child is age 17. So
Yes.
you have
17th of that year.
Year, correct. So 31st December. So in this case, in this scenario, when the child is already 10, do they have 7 years to catch up?
Yes.
So if they keep putting, provided they should have the room.
Yes.
So if they keep putting, they can catch up.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Saurabh, continuing to growth of funds question. If I may ask about GIC options, I have overheard that the term and want to know more about it. Not clear this question. Can you please, Saurabh, can you please repeat your question again?
Unmute.
No, actually, continue to growth of funds a question. If I may, he's like, may I ask for GIC option in that? Yes, you can ask the GIC option. Yes, but there is no return on GICs.
Yes.
We have to take a little bit of, we can go with the balanced portfolio. That's over on that balanced portfolio. We're not taking any risk. But as we mentioned again and again, please, it's very important that you should sit down with your financial advisor and see do the proper investor profile so that they can see whether you're low risk, high risk, or moderate risk. According to that, they can suggest you the investment options.
We have another question from Mr. Sharma. Question is, hi, are the grants paid every year until the child is 18 years old? Moved somewhere. Okay. 18-year-old based on your contribution, or they are limited time only? That basically what they're asking, the grants, does the kid get for the whole term till the kid is 18 years old?
17th of their age. That's
so
till that time they are getting the grants. And yes, it's a fully actually based on your contributions.
Correct.
If you're putting $100, some people think like, okay, I have seen that scenarios where people they open the account with $25 a month.
Correct.
But then if you're putting $25 a month, then you're not eligible to get $7,200 anyways.
Yes.
Do the calculation, you're not eligible to get $7,200.
Correct.
So if any let's say 0-year-old baby, newborn baby, you want to get the $7,200 grant, then the 18-year contribution has to be $36,000.
Correct.
So with $36,000 of contribution, you can have the.
So basically, you have to earn the grant, right?
Yes.
It doesn't get credited automatically. You
yes.
earn it.
Yes.
You basically earn it. Yeah.
So we have Mr. Anmol Singh. Are we getting tax deduction on the amount contributed to RESP like we have with RRSP?
No, we don't. So it's after tax money.
Correct.
So whatever you're contributing, it's after tax money. So that's why you at the end, when you're taking out the money, you're not paying any taxes on that. So RRSP, that's why RRSP is tax deferred. So when you're putting the money, you're getting tax shelter, but then it's not tax, you're not paying tax at all. When you will be withdrawing that money from RRSP at the retirement or whenever you're doing it, you will be actually paying the taxes. So RRSP is tax deferred. Here, your contributions are after tax money, so there is no tax on the principal. Only the interest portion will be taxed, and it depends if the subscriber is taking out the money or the child is taking. According to that person who's taking out that portion, the tax implications will be applied.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have another question from Mr. Gary. Can we change our portfolio whenever we want?
So it depends where are actually your contractor.
Yes.
So some contracts are bound. You don't actually cannot do anything about the investments. because the company, if it's a company specific, then they actually choose it depends like where you are opening the account. So some companies have like, they choose the portfolio by themselves. You just pay them and then they get you the returns on an average for the last 10, 15, 28, whatever years you are opening the account.
Correct.
And there are some options where you put the money, you choose the investment options, and then you decide where you want
So
to
it is basically, it's a managed and non-managed. So
Yes.
you have both options are there. So you can go with a non-managed option. Some parents are more comfortable with
Yes.
that. So non-managed options, company takes care of all the investments. You don't do any instructions. In the managed options, you sit down with your advisor at least once a year.
Yes.
And you can change the investment funds anytime you want.
Yes. So you review time to time.
Correct.
Yes, please.
So that concludes the question answers.
Okay.
I have got one text message. They're asking about they start RESP on $25. So they asking now they can increase their contribution.
Very good question. I strongly recommend all the parents, if you're listening to me, if you're putting $25, $50, please increase it. It's not going to take you anywhere. Do the calculation. If you're doing for $25 saving for 10 years or 25 years or 18 years, how much it's going to be, right? So I always, sometimes, you know what I say, do the maximum contribution. I always start. But yes, if you can, initially you can start with the lower, let's say $50, $100, and down the road, please increase it to the maximum.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's it.
I think that concludes the question. So we have a very exciting thing to share. So why don't you go ahead and share with all of us that whosoever has attended this webinar, they will be part of our Protect, Save and Win Lucky Draw on 31st December. So,
Mr. Surjit is asking a question. Actually, he raised a hand. So Mr. Surjit, please go ahead. Hello, Mr. Surjit.
Ask to unmute.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question regarding the one thing when you describe the RESP amount and the grant value and the interest. If the child is not going to be any university, any college, and that time you describe you have to pay the interest back with the interest to government. I just confused with that one. If we didn't get the money from the government, why we pay the tax on that interest?
No, you're confusing. Let me answer that. So there are 4 portions. One is the contribution, you are doing it and you are earning interest on that, right? That's the one portion.
Yeah.
And then there's another portion which is government is putting in, which is grant, and then you are earning on the interest on grant as well. So the if the child doesn't go to the school university, so grant portion going back to the government, and then interest on grants is also going to the government.
All right.
Your contribution is your money, and then if you are taking and your interest is also yours, but interest is an income, so you will be paying the tax on only the interest portion. So this is how it goes. I hope I answered.
I'm not satisfied yet, because I understand we pay the interest on, we get the interest from the government, the grant portion, the contribution portion, both of them, and we will pay the interest we get the total interest. Am I right?
No, I think your question is not clear. So let's clear it. So if a child does not go to the college university, the contribution you can withdraw lump sum without any tax or without any fees to you. Let's come to the grants. As Harpreet mentioned, grants go back to the government, no problem.
Yeah.
The interest that you earned on the grants and the principal, right? The interest that you make on the grant portions. When you study the statement of any RESP account, they give it different. They give the breakup actually. So the interest that you earn on the grants, that interest also goes back to the government.
Yes. Because it's the interest on government money.
Correct.
So the interest on government money goes back to government.
Correct.
And
Okay.
Just on your money will come back to you.
That will be
But
your
the
income.
only thing is you have to pay the taxes on that interest portion.
Correct.
Your interest on your income only. That's
Yes.
all it is.
That is what it
Okay.
is.
Like how much interest we get already from the government, like our contribution plus interest. So we give back the interest to the government on our interest portion. Is it?
No, not on your interest portion. It is the
No, you're
interest.
not.
I think we can go over this one by one. So, because the interest that you earned on the government portion, right, that interest goes back. The interest that you earn on your principal, that interest that will be counted your income.
Okay.
That
All
is how
right.
to. But I think let's that will be too complicated to solve this here. And I think it's very easy. The requirements are it's a 13 weeks course requirement.
Yes.
So so any part-time, full-time trade course, the student is definitely going somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, I think you probably got your answer. So I'm gonna mute you. Now I have two questions here. If I'm gonna click answer live. If kids won't go to university, then how would that mean? How do you take out the money? How do you get the money back?
We actually explained in that webinar as well that how you take out the money. If the client doesn't go, the minimum requirement for to get all the money back is 13-week course, whether it's part-time, whether it's full-time. So if the worst scenario, let's take the worst scenario, if the client doesn't go for a single day, university or college anywhere, then you can take out the money from your whatever you have contributed, and your interest on that, your contribution is also your money. Government, the grants from the government goes back to the government, and the interest on government grant is also going back to the government. So that's how it is.
We have another good question from Mr. Shergill. He asked, what should be the minimum contribution to get full grant? Example, $100 per month to get the full grant.
So if it's a newborn child with $167 a month, you can get the full grant. You don't need to put $208. So with $167 and few cents a month, you can get the full grant. If you multiply that with the 12 into 18, you will see you have actually deposited $36,000, and on $36,000 you get the full $7,200 grant.
Yeah.
So I have a question in my mind. Let's just say the number you shared, is it with the age of a child, 0 age, or like a newborn? Let's just say if the kid is 5-year-old now, and you still want to get the full grant.
Yeah. So there is a calculation you can do it, $36,000 and then divided by number of years you have it, and then divided by 12 and the monthly
Yeah. So actually, there's a simple calculation for that, right?
Yeah.
So if the kid is 5-year-old and then 17-year-old, they will be by the age of 17, the grant will stop.
Yes.
So 17 minus 5 is 12 years. So 12 years by 12 months. So that means you have 144 months to put $36,000.
Yeah.
So divide 36,000 by 144. I'll just give the number right now. 36,000 divided by 144, $250.
So $250 a month if the child is 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You can get the full contribution.
Correct.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's always important. It's just don't go with that anyone's choice. I always say it's like we take actually Salah from her fence, right? And then there's like, okay, he puts a $200, I'll be putting $200. He puts only $65, I'll be putting only $65.
It's a personal
Kindly,
planning.
yes. So kindly sit down with your financial advisor and see how much you're eligible for, and what is your paying capacity on that. And down the road, if you want to increase it, you can increase it. There's another question. Is there any penalty?
I think Mr. Sandeep has
Yes,
a question.
I got a message.
Yes.
They said they have a RESP with another financial institution, but they are not getting what they expected to, right? So now they have some kind of they have a personal financial advisor, so they can transfer that money to their personal financial advisor.
So this is a very good question, right? So it depends where their money is locked. So if it's in the scholarship plan, there will be a loss of, there are some charges, sale charges they have paid.
Correct.
So there will be a loss of that. But if it's within some insurance company or with the banks, there's no fees or penalties on that. So they can do that.
Correct.
So it depends where your money is sitting. So transfer is not advisable all the time, but sometime with some institution it's advisable. You can do. There's no actually penalties or any charges
Yeah.
you're losing or any money you're losing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's you're losing some money. So then I always recommend don't do that, please.
Yes.
So whatever is there, just keep it there and wait till the child turns 18.
Correct. And if they are, just a second question in addition to that. So let's say they opened up RESP, but somehow they opened it up in a locked account.
Yes.
Started with 150, right?
Yeah.
So as you said, transfer is not advisable because you lose the sales charges that you might have paid in some plans. So can they open another RESP?
Yes.
Yeah.
Till the time you are not going over 50,000,
Yes.
you can have 5 RESPs. Let's say I want to open 5 RESPs for $25 for
Yeah.
5 institution. I can do that.
Yes.
The total contribution has to be there's
Within
a cap, which is 50,000. You cannot go more than that, because if you go that, whatever the total contribution you are putting in, there is a penalty of 1% you are paying.
Correct.
So that's very dangerous. So don't do that, please.
I have another question from Mr. Anmol Singh. Is there a penalty if we stop RESP prior to age 17?
Very good question. So it depends where your plan is opened. Some companies do charge you penalties. Some companies gives you full flexibility. If you want to whenever you want to do it, you can do it. But it depends where your money is.
Yeah. Another question is, there's a 20% grant on, is it every RESP account?
Sorry,
The
I
20%,
was reading another question.
20% CEST grant is with every RESP account, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That comes with RESP. Yeah.
So every means like whatever your contribution is, you get the grant on.
Correct.
On that contribution.
Okay.
And then there's a cap. Let's say your contribution, because 30 after let's say some parents are putting $50,000 for in 18 years, and if they're putting $50,000 for a year for the full contribution, after 36,000 their grant stops.
Yes.
But still, whatever the $14,000 they have paid in extra in the account, they're actually generating income on that. Interest income is on.
So
Right.
one question is here, the maximum contribution is $50,000.
Yeah.
So there is a newborn baby and the parents can put a lump sum $50,000.
Yeah, the companies give you that choice too. If anybody wants to put but you will not get the lump sum $7,200 grant at one time.
Correct.
So it comes with the periodically, but yes, you can put, if you want to put the whole lump sum, 10,000, 50,000, whatever you want to put it in, you can put it in lump sum.
Yeah.
So going along with that same answer, which you just said, we have a question which says, can we put lump sum amount $36,000 before age 18 to get full grant?
Yeah, that's what I was answered.
No, but let's just say if we choose to put $36,000 at age 17.
No, you can't do that. No.
So what age?
So 14 is the age to open the account. RESP account is the age which is 14 years old. So, and another thing is you cannot put 30, as I answered here Sandeep's question as well, you cannot put 50,000 at all of one time and then get 7,200 at one point. No, you will get slowly in each year wherever you are qualifying, but the interest will generate on that income from day one.
Right. Yes.
Okay, that's a good question, I think. Now, Kende Adishina, she asked a question. What if the child enter university at age 16? Would there be a penalty? If the child enters into university at age 16, will there be a penalty for taking out the money?
No, I don't think so. No, there's no penalty for that.
As long as we have the letter of enrollment and all that, the requirements are there is no penalty. Yes.
So they must speak to their financial advisor to help her in this situation.
So every plan has their own, I would say, benefits, right?
Correct.
So when we're actually choosing the RESP for your kids, you need to see that the flexibility factor in that plan.
Yes.
How much flexibility is there? Whether if you want to decrease the contribution, if you want to increase the many contributions, or there is like any extra sale charges or anything like that, you have to see that, right?
Yes.
So that's why it is very important when you are buying any RESP, when you are going into any contract, you actually read the guidelines, what it is.
That's right. Yes.
I got one another message. They asking like, let's say they go to back home, or some reason they are not, like they lose the job and they are not unable to do the contribution RESP. Then what happens? The RESP will continue, or it
So
lapse?
whatever the money is there,
Mhm.
sitting there, it depends. Again, it depends company to company. Some company penalize you for that, but if you break the back, right?
Correct.
But most of the company, they don't. What they do is, like, let's say you don't want to do further contributions. What you can do, you can let the money, whatever the money is there, you can let the money sit there, and then it can grow.
Okay, sounds good.
I think that concludes the question answers.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, so I think we have very excited thing to share with everybody, whosoever has attended and whosoever is joining live with us on Facebook. So Harpreet, why don't you go ahead?
Yes, on December, as we are doing a live today, so on December 31st, 4 o'clock, we will be doing, we are actually running a contest, to protect, save, and win contest, where whosoever has attended our webinar, they are already part of that contest.
Correct.
They're already in that lucky draw. So on December 31st, 4 o'clock, we'll be announcing the winner. So you can see the picture. You can visit our office. You can see all the presents, all the gifts are here. So we'll be taking out 70-inch TV, and then there are machines, PlayStation 4, cameras,
The security cameras,
Beat,
the remote sweeper, the robot thing, and for the kids, ride on Jeep. So the kids, they sit and ride. And I think they are headphones too, as well, the Dr. Beats. So we have pretty exciting stuff, which they could get it by enrolling in. They have a choice. They reach out to any of our advisors by calling them or by email, and they will send them the link of the website where they can go and register.
Yes. And if you want to develop your chances, you can also call us for that too, how you can develop your chances. So definitely, if any question, you want to do one-to-one meeting with us, you're welcome to come and visit our office as well.
So I think if there are any questions, we can take it.
We just got a question from Mr. Suresh Seth.
Okay.
Are children RESP account impacted in any manner if parents choose to separate, and who makes contribution? So if father and mother choose to go separate, what happened to the contributions who were making?
So that nobody can actually withdraw if they're getting separated or something like that happens. So with the mutual, their agreement, whatever it is, so and either one can do the contribution if they don't want to touch that RESP. I have seen that a couple of cases where parents says, okay, you know what, whatever it is, we will continue paying for the education, will be continue saving for the education, and then they can continue the plan as they want to.
I think it's also dependent on
the case to case.
Correct. How the settlement is, separation settlement is. So whosoever becomes the primary caregiver keeps receiving the child benefit and keeps continuing the RESP. I think.
Yes. So it depends case to case. It's a very actually can be a very personalized answer. So case to case we can discuss.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh. I think we are at the end of all the question answers.
Yes.
And we have shared the exciting news as well, the contest. And anything else we have?
I think we are all good. If there is no further questions, we can conclude. And any of the parents who have their personal situation they want to discuss with us, they can give us a call or write us. And then our advisors will be reaching out to everybody, and we'll see if you have any questions.
Yeah, sure. And thank you very much for taking out time and attending the webinar. We're very pleased to share the information we have it with you guys. So thank you very much. If you guys need any services, you can contact us, our company, and be safe and have a very wonderful year ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.